3, 2, 1.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Mike.
And I'm Brittany.
And today we thought it would be kind of a cool idea to react to our debt-free Scream video with Dave Ramsey that happened years ago.
And I haven't seen this video in a long time.
Yeah, we haven't watched this video all the way through in years, and it's been a while since we even watched it at all for more than a few seconds. Our actual debt-free Scream was... We should have thought this through before we started filming. So our actual debt-free Scream was around July 2015. It's been about 4.5 years since then. So we're gonna play this back. We've got a computer set up right here next to the camera. You guys can't see it, but while this is going, we'll play the video on screen here. We have permission to use this. Dave Ramsey's office has emailed this video, told us to use it, however we want to.
Right.
So we do have permission. So yeah, let's get started.
In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Michael and Brittany are with us. Hey guys, how are you?
Hey Dave, how are you?
I was so nervous.
This is back when he was in his old office. I think he's kind of updated where he's at now, and he's got a new studio, a new building, and everything. Mm-hmm. But this is a dream come true. Mm-hmm. Like this moment right here, I had in my head ever since we started the debt-free program. Getting to this point was just like this was the goal in my head. I think Dave, if I remember correctly, Dave asked us like what kept us going or something like that through sometime later in the video. But this event right here was one of the things that kept us going. But yeah, we were nervous. I think his audience was like 8 million people then, and then he had like all of his staff, and then other people came in to watch. So there were probably a couple hundred people in the lobby.
Yeah, because there was 2 other families doing their debt-free Scream, so there was a lot of people in the lobby. And I knew there was a lot of people listening to his radio show.
Yeah.
So it just kind of makes you a little nervous.
Yeah.
When you have that big of an audience.
Yeah.
Got a feeling you're here to do a debt-free Scream.
Yes, we are. Yes, sir.
I love that. Very cool. Where do you guys live?
We live in Suwanee, Georgia. It's like 35 minutes northeast of Atlanta.
Absolutely. Know it well. Good to have you guys. Thanks for visiting.
Thank you.
We still live there, by the way.
Yeah, we do still live there.
But if you've been following the channel, we're about to move, and if you're interested in following that journey, I'll link our new house videos up here if you're interested.
So how much debt have you two paid off?
We paid off $120,000.
Wow. How long did that take you?
2 years, 11 months.
Wow. Making what kind of money?
The 3-year mark, which was crazy.
Yeah, we tried our best to make it under 3 years.
Yeah.
We were actually doing projections, or I did some projections like when we first started to kind of calculate about how much time it would take to pay off all of this debt. I estimated between like 2.5 to 3 years. So we were kind of on the tail end of that, but we still made it before 3 years.
Yeah, and when I saw how close we were getting, I started picking up more work, and you started picking up more work, and we just got really intense at the end of it.
Well, we started about 30. We started before we were married, individually. Got married, got our income up to about $140,000.
Wow, very cool.
So that first photo was of our wedding. We spent $800 on our wedding.
$800 of our own money on our wedding, and my parents got a family friend that was a caterer and didn't spend a whole lot on the food. They spent that for us as a wedding gift. And yeah, that was it. We had a family
$800. Very cheap wedding.
Family friend that was a pastor, gave him a nice little thank you check.
Yeah.
And that was it.
We saved money. We tried to save money in as many areas as we could for our wedding because we knew how much we had ahead of us.
And before this, though, we only spent $800 on it, but there was more because of my wedding dress. I did spend more on that, and before we were getting out of debt, that was like, shouldn't have done it, but that was before we were on the Dave Ramsey program. I think I spent like $2,000 on a wedding dress, and yeah, regretted it. I eventually paid back my mom separately when we were working.
Oh, your mom bought it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She put it on her credit card, and then I was like,
did we include that in our debt?
Paid it back. I don't think we did.
$122,000 in 3 years.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, yeah, so it would have been a little bit more now that I'm thinking back on it, because I didn't include it because it was just something I kind of did an IOU with my mom.
So we kind of started trying to become debt free, or at least getting our stuff together individually before we got married. Then when we got married, we combined our finances and started tackling things together.
And what do you guys do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
And I run a academic coaching business.
Good for you. Academic coaching business. What do you what kind of academics do you coach?
Math, science, ACT, SAT. It's kind of like tutoring. It sounds better than tutoring. I mean, it's pretty much tutoring.
I got you. That works. But just like I was just telling the last caller, they can set up, the last email or whatever it was, they can set up, it was a caller, that get the daughter trained to take the ACT and SAT, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So they could see you if they lived in Swanee, Georgia. Very
course.
cool. Good. So it's out there. There's proof right there.
That's actually like SAT prep and ACT prep is actually a very lucrative side job.
Yeah.
And it could quickly turn into a main profession. I know I wouldn't necessarily call him a friend, but an acquaintance that I, talk back and forth with every now and then, who earns about $200 an hour tutoring for SAT and ACT stuff. He's very good at it. So if anybody's out there who knows what they're doing in terms of the SAT or ACT and maybe wants to start doing this on the side, you can earn a decent amount of money doing it.
Yeah, you definitely can.
Yeah.
It helped us out a lot.
Yeah. I didn't charge that much. I didn't feel like I could. But after meeting him, I was like, dang it, I should have charged more.
You slowly increased
your
rates.
Yeah. So going back a few seconds in the video, our incomes, we got married and Brittany was kind of like first starting her job and I was just kind of getting this business off the ground. So our income was very, very limited. So that number that we said at first, like $30,000 or $40,000 a year, that was actually our income, and we pretty much
combined
income, and we didn't really have much money to throw at our debt aside from that, and aside from like just basic living expenses. So we had to start working more jobs and quickly got our income up and
to 6 figures, which was amazing looking back.
Yeah,
because it helped us pay off the debt really fast.
Our last year of paying off this debt, we paid off $60,000, and that was on an income of about $140,000 a year. And that was, Brittany was working full time and then like a part-time job aside from her full-time job, and I had like my main income, which was from the academic coaching business, and then a couple of side gigs that I was doing as well. We were working like all the time, just all the time.
Yeah, we only basically came home, we'd eat, sleep, then repeat.
Yeah.
With the work.
Yeah. So our income was great, and it was awesome to be able to put so much money toward our debt, but like
it was exhausting.
It was exhausting.
And I'm glad we only did it for that short amount of time, and then I stopped my part-time side job and then just did one full-time job, and then you slowly kind of eased off your work.
Yeah. So we took our feet off the gas pedal after this.
Yeah. But continued to save for the emergency fund that he talks about.
So I'm going to sidebar just a second, since I was just talking to that lady about that.
Sure.
So average student that comes through and trains on how to take the SAT or ACT, how much increase in score do you see? All 3 of my kids did it, and we saw substantial.
Yeah, maybe between. It depends on how bad they did the first time, I suppose.
I had to stop and think for a minute. As you can see while you're watching here, like an average student probably like 10 to 20% after a few months. But if they're meeting with me for like a year, they're more than likely they're going to do like really, really good.
Really well. Yeah.
Kids who did really bad the first time, their score is significantly improved. The kids who are studying just to kind of marginally get better or maybe get some scholarships, that kind of thing, typically they get the scholarships, so maybe 10 to 20% increase.
Okay. That's about what we saw. I think on the ACT, if I recall, our kids were, they might have had a 22, they might have bumped it to a 26 or a 28, that kind of a thing. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. That's what we saw with all 3 of ours. We did tutoring like you do. I mean, academic coaching like you do, and so forth. So what kind of debt was the $120,000?
Oh, good. Most of it was student loans.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, about $95,000 of student loans.
Yep.
Wow. Very cool.
The rest was cars and maybe $500 on a credit card.
So how long have you been married?
About 2.5 years.
Okay. So you started on this just during the engagement, it sounds like.
Yes, sir.
And then when you got married, you just dove in and tackled it. What made you, were you just coming out of school at that time?
We had finished school, and my dad gave us 2 tickets to one of your live shows.
Oh, that's what got it going.
That's what got it going. It
So
really
as we
fired
get
him up.
engaged.
Yeah, so her dad actually started this whole process. He bought us tickets to
The Total Money Makeover.
the Total Money Makeover live event.
Which I don't think they do anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they do it anymore. But I had just purchased a new Toyota Prius for like $30,000, and I think I only put like a few $1,000s down. And my monthly payment was like almost half of my income every month. I have no idea how I was able to get this car, but one of the worst financial decisions I've ever made, getting this car. Then her dad bought us tickets. We go through this
as an engagement gift,
live
like,
event
here.
for 4 hours, and I'm like hitting my head the entire time, like, what did I do? Like, what did I just get myself into?
Yeah, I noticed your whole demeanor changed when we were there.
Yeah.
So as we
fired
get
him up.
engaged, we say we got to do this Dave Ramsey Bible money stuff, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Very cool. So you went to the event in Atlanta, maybe?
Yeah, the Gwinnett Civic Center.
Yeah, absolutely. Not far from you guys. It was North Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Very neat. Cool. So that was 2 years and some change ago. Almost 3 years now.
Yes, sir.
Ago. And then you get engaged and then you get married. So after you're married and you get started on this stuff, you're newlyweds, you had to have friends going, what are you people doing? You're so weird.
A few of them, yeah. We were blessed. We have some really good friends. Many of them were behind us, but yeah, we had a few kind of was like, what the heck?
Say what?
The people who thought we were really crazy thought we were crazy when we started cutting up our credit cards and canceling our credit cards.
Yeah, that was what we had the most pushback on.
Yeah.
It was like, what do you mean you're getting rid of your credit cards and you're no longer going to have a credit score? That's where we met the most resistance, I think.
Yeah. Neither of us were really bad with credit cards, though. Like,
I never had one.
Yeah, Brittany never had one. I had one and used it to put gasoline on. And that was it. And I paid it off every month. And it was a credit card that my mom opened up for me just to get my credit score up, and I just been using it for gas. And I think when we got married, there was $500 on there that was not overdue, that I was planning on paying off anyway. So yeah, I mean, we probably could have kept the credit card, but we were all in on this program, and we got rid of it. We canceled all of our credit accounts, and yeah, that's when people thought we were kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, really. So, what do you tell people? Because you got a lot of young fans out there that are people just, they're you 3 years ago, and they're listening right now. They're thinking about getting engaged. They're facing a mountain of student loans.
This was just the downstairs of the lobby right here. There was another level where people were lined up all around the banister, like looking down on us. There are a lot of people there.
Yeah.
That's a big mountain. I mean, you climbed a huge mountain there.
It was huge, yeah.
What do you tell them the secret to getting out of debt is?
First of all, have a plan, like have a battle plan. I mean, because it's really a battle. I mean, especially, student loans nowadays. Have a vision in your mind of where you want to go. Like, what it looks like, what it feels like when you're there, what you could imagine it feels like. Picture that and just keep it in front of you, in front of you the whole time. A budget was
The big
huge
part,
also.
and working together was
Yeah.
big too.
Yeah.
So like I was saying earlier, like that vision, this was part of the vision. Finally becoming debt-free, like this was part of it. Finally being able to come on Dave Ramsey Show and do our debt-free scream like live in his office. That was a dream. And probably more so than anything else, that image of us being here doing this was what propelled me the most, like what gave me the most, like, what's the word? Energy, sure, energy.
Or motivation.
Motivation, yeah. Like Dave Ramsey's really, he's right, and I guess his opinion is just based on academic studies of all this, but like once you pay something off, it gives you energy and motivation to pay something else off.
Yeah. And then when you're seeing it go away, you intensify. You get faster at doing it, and you start picking up side jobs or trying to sell things you don't need.
Yeah.
We did that a lot too.
Yeah, it's like a dopamine hit. It's weird. Yeah, I mean, all that stuff is totally true. And I think if we had so we started with our debts like he advises, smallest to largest, and we kind of worked our way up. I think there were a few debts that we paid off that were a little bit larger that wouldn't necessarily fit in the traditional debt snowball, that took up a substantially larger amount of our monthly payments in total, that we paid off sooner than what would be traditionally done, like smallest to largest. But that was only because they made up a much larger portion of our total payments every month. We wanted to get that wiped out So we'd have more money to throw at everything else. But it wasn't much. I think if we had started at our largest interest rate debt, I think that was one of the larger ones. I think that made
it would have taken too long.
It would have taken too long. We
wouldn't have had as much motivation. Yeah, seeing like the results of paying off the loan, and then just also I just liked being able to know that once we paid everything off, we were going to keep all of our money from then on. It wasn't going to someone else.
Yeah.
And it was a huge amount of money that we were paying every month.
Yeah.
So I was glad that when we were done, that we had all that extra money.
Oh, the budget. We said the budget. So I didn't want to do a budget at first. This was her idea, because like I had been able to keep up my own personal finances in my head very well up until this point. And that's because I didn't really spend money on anything that I didn't need to spend money on.
But I'm more of a visual person, so I had to see it.
Yeah.
So I pushed and was like, we need to do a budget.
So Brittany got a lot of pushback from me at the beginning in doing a budget. And then as time progressed, I started seeing like, wow, this is a very good thing that we're doing this budget. And it comes back to the idea of like just having a plan laid out in front of you and being able to see where every single dollar of yours is going. And it's like, if you have this huge goal like we did of paying up $120,000, like how in the world are you going to accomplish that unless you have a written plan in front of you to follow? Like, I don't know. So a budget was huge.
So being able to do it together, that really starts
Absolutely.
your marriage out right, didn't it,
does.
Brittany?
Absolutely.
Yes, it did. It helped a lot.
So tell me, Brittany, what was the biggest budget fight during the 2 years?
I like to shop a lot. So,
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. Just compromising. We made an agreement, and I went to thrift stores and things like that. So could still get a shirt every now and then.
That doesn't sound like a fight.
No.
Tell me about a fight that you had. 'Cause I know you had a fight.
We had fights.
Yeah, I
Okay.
would probably want to go out more and do things because I was more this free spirit, and he's more the.
So did you or when you wanted to do that, like I want to go out to eat tonight and he wouldn't do it, did you pout or were you mad or did you throw stuff at him or what?
No.
He was trying so hard to get me to like say something, but I was like nervous, and I'm more the person who I didn't want to say anything bad about my husband on air, but at the same time, he's just trying to get a real reaction. But I think like we did kind of struggle with me wanting to buy clothes and him not understanding.
We still struggle with that.
And we still struggle with that. So that kind of was a fight and a little bit of a battle back and forth. But it wasn't like what he's saying, did you get mad? Did you throw stuff at him? No, we didn't do that. But we did. It was hard because like I'm trying to say here, but it's hard for me because I'm so nervous to, I guess.
Yeah, she was really nervous. She was a lot more nervous than I was.
So it was hard for me to say it. But because I'm more, he talks about it in his program, there's a free spirit and there's a nerd. So I was more the free spirit. He was more the nerd who crunched the numbers, did everything really well like that. Where he was fine staying inside 24/7, 365.
I'm still fine doing that. I could eat the same thing for every meal every single day, not go anywhere. If I don't need to, I just don't go out.
Yeah, and he was fine like messing with the thermostat to like make it really warm in the summer or really cold in the winter, because like just to save money.
Just be as efficient as possible.
Yeah,
That's kind of like.
I couldn't tolerate that. So we had fights about that, if you want to call them fights.
We never really had any big fights though.
But
I think
it
the biggest
wasn't-
fight we had was like, should we make a budget initially?
Yeah,
like I
that
think that
was
was the
it.
biggest thing, and then after that it was more just like growing pains, getting used to budgeting.
Right, and not going out as much. Like I had to get used to that. So we would compromise on things for free, like going outside to our local park, or our city had events that they would do. And so just going and walking around and looking at things helped. And even just walking around the mall but not buying anything. I know that kind of sounds strange, but just me getting out and doing something where I'm walking or we're just spending some time together, even if it's free, outside, that helped me a lot.
Yeah.
So it was just trying to balance all of that and figure out how we could do that without spending money.
Yeah.
But we found ways to do that.
Yeah. Just got to be creative.
Yeah. So that was hard.
I think we argued a little bit, but then once, like you said, you go back to that picture, I'd realize, yeah, we are on this together, and we're working really hard to get that paid off. So it was a struggle those 2 years and 11 months.
They're real, aren't they?
It was real, yeah.
That's real. How's it feel now?
So much better.
Because
he said one of the keys was to visualize it. Mm-hmm. Does it feel better or not? Or it's almost anticlimactic? You're like, okay, I got it done, but wow, where is it? I mean, which is it?
I mean, we've been debt free maybe 2 weeks now,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't think it hasn't hit us yet, like the enormity of it. But I mean, it feels free, absolutely.
Yeah, freeing, definitely.
It feels like
There's
how things should be.
yeah.
This is a difficult question to answer to me because like it feels like how things should be, and we were kind of living our lives like how it shouldn't have been. It was weird because I was kind of like cringing inside because we had the lowest amount of money we've ever had in our bank account at this particular moment. Like
Yeah.
we became debt free. I think we had like $2,500, $3,000, somewhere around there
In the bank.
at this particular point in time. And up until that point, we had at least $5,000 at all times. And I know that's a lot more than the $1,000 that Dave Ramsey recommends. The reason we had $5,000 is because I was self-employed, so my income was fluctuating up and down all the time. And I felt like just $1,000 was just not enough because one thing with a car, one medical event, somewhat major medical event. I mean, and we're bankrupt basically. So
So we like to have the amount, and I like to as well, the amount that are deductible or out of, during that time, at least our deductible saved.
yeah,
So if anything were to happen, we were okay.
yeah.
And I think that was I guess the biggest thing we did differently than Dave Ramsey talks about with just having the $1,000.
Yeah,
in the-
there were a few small things that we did a little bit differently that we kind of like personalized to our individual lives. We didn't follow every single thing to the T, but it wasn't anything major. Like we switched around a few of the debts in the debt snowball. We had more money in our baby emergency fund than he suggests. Other than that,
But that was really it.
yeah, I think those two things were really the only things. But yeah, I was a little scared at this particular point in time, even though like we were totally debt free, we didn't owe any money to anybody. Like, we could get into a car accident on the way home, and there goes all the money we have.
And I was feeling great. I was like, yay, we're done.
Yeah, so
Paying off the debt.
it was awesome being debt free, but I think if we had done this and we'd had a 6-month emergency fund in place, I would have felt a lot better because at this point in time in our lives, like right now, we have a lot of money. We don't owe a cent to anybody, and it's awesome. So,
Yeah.
Who had the most student loans?
That was me.
Yeah, the nursing school, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was guessing that. But you got a great career. That's awesome.
so Brittany went to nursing school, and she went to private school and racked up like $80,000.
$80,000. It was $80,000 in a 4-year degree, and if I had done it over again, I would have gone to state school for probably like $20,000 for the 4 years.
Yeah.
And gotten the same license, and I would have been paid the exact same as
Yeah.
someone who had gone to a private school versus a public school. Like,
So if you watch Dave Ramsey's rants about college, like 100% true. Like,
yes.
and if you're watching this and you're like, for whatever reason, you're 17, 18 years old, looking about going into college, first ask yourself, do you really need to go to college? Because the value of college has come down a lot in the past couple decades.
Yeah.
And the price just keeps going up for whatever reason. There are a lot of things you can do without a degree that will make a lot of money and you'll be totally fine. Ask yourself why you want a degree in the first place. I mean, unless you want to be like a lawyer, engineer, doctor, something like that is,
Right.
you legally are required to have a
Nurse.
degree.
Yeah.
Obviously you'll want to go to college. But if not, like really question your intentions about why are you wanting to go to college and get a degree. Because there's only about a 50% chance that you'll actually finish and get one, according to the statistics. So anyways, we kind of got off course there. But so Brittany got $80,000 student loans. I was lucky enough to have scholarships and grants most of the time I was in college.
I think you only had like a few thousand.
I think I had $5,500
Oh, yeah, that's right.
in student loans. And it was at a pretty low interest rate, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
and you're smart enough to clean up the mess very, very quickly. You guys are an incredible couple. That's very fun. I appreciate you letting me pick at you a little bit. That's good.
We never said
Very
thank
well
you.
done.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
So
yeah.
that's the secret, is the communication, the written budget, and having a clear vision.
Communication is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like, oh my gosh, it is a night and day difference. If you don't communicate well, if you're married and like becoming debt free and you don't communicate well,
It's going to be a struggle.
you have to learn to communicate well.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be on the same page with everything financially.
And I
Like,
think going through this process helped us
oh, totally.
a lot in that regard.
Yeah, like it showed us how much we weren't on the same page financially. And it really forced us to,
forced us to work together.
Yeah.
But not that we wouldn't have worked together, but I think sharing a common goal really helps bring you closer. And when you don't have that burden, when you're done paying off the debt, I mean, it's just amazing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Think about what it's, Chris Hogan talks about that. He says, to dream in HD. I like that phrase he uses.
Yeah.
And so that when you get there, you smell it, you taste it, you feel the texture of it. What's it going to be like?
Exactly.
And here you are standing in our lobby doing your debt-free scream. This is real. This is happening.
Yeah,
It's a little surreal.
we dreamed
it
up.
is. I mean, we've been watching Debt Free Screams for 2 years, 11 months now. And
So you
And
watch,
now we're
you're subscribed to the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Or are you watching on iHeart or on our app? Which was it?
we watch on your website.
On the website. Okay. That's very cool.
Website,
Good.
and I would-
Good for you guys. All right. Michael and Brittany, Atlanta, Georgia, $120,000 paid off. 2 years, 11 months, making 30 up to 140,000 a year. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're
debt free.
Love it, love it, love it. Boom. That's how it's done right there. Man, that's awesome. Very, very, very cool.
So that was our debt free scream.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool watching it.
Yeah, it
Oh
is.
my gosh. It's totally changed our lives.
For the better.
Yeah. For the better. So if you are currently working to become debt free or thinking about it, browsing YouTube and watching debt free screams or whatever, and happen to stumble upon this video, continue with your journey of paying your debt off. It is
Yeah.
100% worth it, and it will set you up for a very good financial future. It has for us.
Yeah. And briefly, after this, a year later, we saved up about 6 months worth of expenses and more.
Yeah, a little bit more than that.
And because we had paid off all of our debt, we were able to do something we never thought we would be able to do. And we moved to Hawaii and lived there for almost 4 months.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And it
Another
was great.
life-changing part in our lives.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have been able to do it if we had not paid off all our debt and
Yeah.
gone through this program.
Yeah.
So it set us up to be able to do things with our lives that we really wanted to do, but because we had basically the burden and the chains from all of our debt, it was preventing us. Like, we would never have been able to go to Hawaii if we had not paid off our debt. So
Yeah.
yeah, keep going. Your dreams will start turning into reality.
So that was our reaction to our Debt Free Scream video 4.5 years ago. Hope
Yep.
you guys enjoyed it. And if you're interested in following along with our house buying process, hit the subscribe button. Also, if you're interested in more like personal finance videos, that's mainly what this channel is going to be about. Maybe a few vlogs spread in and out in there. Subscribe for more of those. Or investing, like we're going to be starting investing probably in a year or so. And I'm definitely going to put videos about investing up there, at least in terms of how we're investing our money.
Right.
So if you're interested in any of that, hit the subscribe button. I also have a photography channel. If you are into photography or technology, I'll link it up here. Go check that out if you want. Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.